Hello, my name is Merle Rutledge Jr. I am the first declared candidate running for governor of Virginia in the 2021 race to replace that asshole Ralph Northam. I know people have been frustrated all over Virginia in regards to the tactics that these liberals are trying to carry out at the state capitol in Richmond. Citizens have a right to be concerned because they can see socialism all over the place and liberals running wild and out of control and trying to put any kind of law, any kind of way out there to give them cover and some kind of protection through the color of the law, meaning using the police as their personal puppets. Now, everybody from citizens to the police and many more who are frustrated and bothered by the policies and bills being passed up there in Richmond are now speaking out. Now, since we are speaking out, now they want to go after your right to free speech, your right to express yourself, your right to protest a law in which you do not believe in, your right to criticize public officials, which has always been a constitutional right for redress of your grievances. Now they want to take everything that we have worked hard here in America for, our ancestors, and all those, our founding fathers and many more. Now we are faced with corruption, abuse of power, and those who are now saying that we want the public to be silent to anything that we are doing up there in Richmond and not to speak out. And if you do so, now can face a felony. There's no way possible for us Virginians to find that acceptable. There's no way possible I can in my campaign, nor should anybody else's campaign find it acceptable. When I mess up, I want you to criticize me. I want you to tell me how I'm getting it wrong. You do not deserve for me to go ahead and use the police and the Commonwealth Attorney's Office, whether in Richmond or anywhere else, to go ahead and say, I want that person arrested because they went ahead and told Merle Rutledge to go screw itself. One of our biggest foundations of being American citizens is to make sure we are able to get our point across civilly. But at time frames, we can get a little bit below the belt. But if you are in politics or a politician or somebody in public office, criticism comes with that oath that you take to represent the people, whether it's in your district, whether it's for the state, or whether you're a congressman or anybody else. You're not special. But to see this type of actions being done by the Virginia governor and making sure certain officials, if you criticize them, if they feel that they are being harassed in any kind of aspect, then you get a felony. Now, you could say Republicans is mad about the fact that we lost in November, but of course, at the same time frame, we plan on getting it back and setting things straight in 2020. But don't get complacent. Don't procrastinate. Don't get comfortable, because we haven't won yet. I see too many right now trying to put out different type of posts talking about how we already got it won. We thought the same thing last year, and you saw what happened. While we had the momentum and while we had them on the ground, we need to kick them while they're on the ground. But the fact is, what is happening now is going to apply to us sooner than later when these bills pass. That's why they're so much in a rush. And certain bills that should have been killed in committee is now making it to the House floor for a vote. And now it's nothing to stop them, except for the fact of the people protesting against a government that has went tyrannical and went in favor of terrorists. Now they are just trying to satisfy any kind of way to get Trump kicked out of office. You're now seeing them trying to give illegals Virginia driver's license. We won't be able to protest that because we know who's responsible. Since the governor is responsible and we decide to say something against the governor, now you get a felony for that. You think that's right? One of the biggest reasons why I got a name, one of the biggest reasons we have out there is word of mouth. The reason is due to the fact to make sure that people are aware that there's pros and there's cons to this type of thing. And right now we got a bunch of con artists that's up there basically saying if we talk about them, if we speak about them, and if we don't use the correct type of language, we will face a felony. We will face a judge who has to give us whatever time frame that they want because we decide to say something about the governor, or we decide to say that we don't like a judge's ruling, or if the lieutenant governor, which I don't understand why he's even included in the language. I don't even understand why this language is even there. But they're going after you. President Trump said it right. They ain't coming after him. They trying to come after you. And right now, who's there to stop them? Now, y'all can sit back on the couch, relax, drink your beer, drink your wine, whatever you want to call it. But we haven't won yet. And that's where I'm getting at. We haven't won yet. And if you think that not being out there in the fight in the front lines and making sure we get the word out, then we stand to lose in 2020 and 2021. And then we have a bunch of illegals voting in our elections and influencing it. And then what else do we have left? We had no way to fight back because the ballot box has been colluded and corrupted by liberals. Because that's why they want all this stuff going on, giving out free driver's license and tuition and all this other stuff, trying to bring them all into this state. And they hope that they come in, vote Democrat, but they're the ones who have to take the price if it's caught. But by then, our elections is overflowed by what they claim President Trump was trying to do. Have outside interference, but they're doing it in our state. And then from our state, they take it all the way up to D.C. But who's going to be there to protest if you catching felonies every single time frame you decide to say this is wrong? I've been a First Amendment fighter for all my life. You see how I speak. You see I don't back down for nobody. And I tell it like it is, whether you somebody from the establishment or somebody from the other side. I call it like I see it. But for now, if you get in that type of situation and speak out, now they're saying you have an opportunity to become a felon. Now think about why do they want you to have a felony for speaking out against government officials. Because you have a felony, they take your guns away in a different method. Just because they took off confiscation of guns off the table, all they did was put smoke and mirrors in to say, well, if we can't take your guns, what we can do is make you a felon. Because we know good and well, Republicans we have no filter when it comes down to liberal crap. We don't. And what do you think we're going to say when this First Amendment bill passes and the governor signs it up? Does it say, hey, whenever you talk about me being a terrorist or Mr. Blackface, make sure we make him a felon? All this is another secret program that the governor's trying to get passed to make more felons out of law-abiding Virginians. You don't have to go to war with your own citizens through just martial law. You can go to war with your own citizens that oppose you by making laws that make them want to be broken. So it's attacking civil disobedience. It's attacking your right to tell the government what to do with themselves when they come after your rights. Now, you can say whatever you want to say, Democrats, but this applies to you too. Whenever we take over, and we will take over in 2020, how would you like it if Republicans decide to say, hey, since you're talking bad about us, we're going to make you felons? How does this help Virginia with our problems? It doesn't. And I'm tired of these coward Democrats having the yellow going down their back. They got common sense to know this law has no business being there. But guess what they doing? They having that nice locker room talk with the coach there called Governor Northam. Then with the assistant coach, Justin Fairfax. And then also they had the referee, which is Mark, whatever his name is, Herring. And they telling all them Democrats in that locker room, this helps you. This means they can't talk bad about you. If they running for state office, they can't use certain methods in order to fight back and tell the truth about what y'all trying to do. And if they do, since they are mostly regular citizens trying to take your seat, we can make them a felon. So they have to come to the governor, which is the coach, the head coach, to have restoration of their rights in order for you to go back to running for office. Look at how much red tape I just mentioned within that one sentence. That's a lot of red tape to go through. And then have a governor who also is now trying to raise up the number of signatures needed for a recall. Do you see what's happening to our great state of Virginia? I'm just basically just like so many of you. Y'all can't believe this is what's going on now in 2020. But we don't have to deal with this long term. We can set things right long term. But it's going to take us not procrastinating, not sitting on the couch, not worrying about how good your video quality is or how good you look in a suit and makeup on. It takes heart and soul. Conservative values, conservative wisdom, and definitely conservative attitude going into the next election. Because this is the big dance going on right now in 2020. We got President Trump facing re-election. We need to make that happen, do what we can, because you see what they're doing by flooding our borders with illegals and now saying, thank you for coming here. Now here's a free driver's license, health care, and college. And you can't even get your kids anything close to that. And you fight and work hard here in America with American grit. But you seeing those who had never done anything for America getting everything America has to offer without putting Americans first. That's the thing. People are worrying about the wrong thing. It seems like people want to worry about what perfume or cologne they have on compared to what is socialism and communism that is going on right now. Now, my patience is thin. I hope you Republicans' patience is thin. You Democrats and independents that pay attention every single time frame I put up a post because you're trying to figure out how to come at me. Look at this. One of these days, if you allow this nonsense to go on and continue to go on, it's going to be the opposite way around where we are making you felons for the same thing. Sometimes it has to be grown-ups in the room with liberal children that's running around up there in Richmond. And the reason why they're getting away with this is because they lied their way into office. They didn't run on this platform. But this platform is all over the newspapers, all over people's conscience, because they are worried about how far in the dumpster that Virginia is going. We are here to clean up the mess after them liberals is kicked out. But we can't do that alone. We can't have rhinos running around with all this mess going on. We need to make sure each candidate is vetted. If they can't come in the hallway, they don't belong in this business, because they've been bending over, those ones who've been elected, been bending over for so long. That's why the Democrats has came over that Brokeback Mountain. The conscience of the Republican Party has to decide. Democrats and independents, you have to decide, because most of y'all don't even know why you Democrats in the first place. I get tired of asking Democrats, hey, why are you Democrat? And they're like, well, it looks like they for black folks and all this other stuff. But what have they done for you? Everything being done. Record unemployment. Economy great. Trump listening to issues where Obama ignored. Criminal justice reform. Making sure those who are serving unnecessary time are getting out of jail back home to their families and having a second chance to have a constructive life that would have been lost. Obama and Trump had the same opportunities. It's just President Trump is doing something about it. So for those who want to cry racism and all this other stuff, look at what's going on now here in Virginia. People went out to protest no kind of arrest from the law-abiding gun owners. All that stuff in the media that they said exactly what's going to cause trouble. And it was done with nonviolence. It was done with civil disobedience. It was done at the mountaintop at that state capitol. And it was done to send a message clearly out there. We are in this fight together to make sure we can protect ourselves, our families, and our friends from these monsters that we know as lone wolves that come into a church and try to murder everybody. And because they feel that it's a safe place to get more casualties. Now we're stuck here because of blue magic up in Richmond trying to take our own defense away. Trying to chip away. If they chip at it an inch, they're going to take a mile. That's why we are fighting. We are fighting not just because white folks want a gun, black folks want a gun, Hispanic. We are fighting for the right to exist. That's what it means to have the right to defend yourself, the right to exist, the right for your families to continue to grow and continue to bond and continue to have generations. Only thing Democrats has offered at this time period is abortions in those low-income neighborhoods because they want you to have access to kill off your bloodline. Sometimes you can listen to all that crap that they give you, and they try to put mayonnaise and ketchup and all types of stuff on that sandwich. But the fact is, you wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here, nobody else would be here unless we decided to want Virginia back.